All right. Thank you so much for joining me in this video lecture. This is Gurpal Singh from Gursur Education, and today we are going to start a new subject in paper second, and this is going to be related to uh, business environment and international business. So, as you all know, that we have already completed three major topics or subjects for paper second, and around 4 to 5 subjects have already been covered for paper one as well. So in this video lecture, we are going to talk about the basic and the very starting introduction of a business environment, in which I am going to teach you regarding what's the meaning of business environment, why we have to study this particular subject, what is its importance, and finally, we shall be talking about how many types are there for business environment. So this is a very important thing to go through. Okay, I shall be explaining you in detail regarding internal and external business environment, and after that we shall be talking about the further classification of these kind of environment. So in detail we have to study all the factors under specific environments in upcoming chapters as subjects chapters as well. So now what we have to do, I think you have already got the idea of the structure of this lecture by now. So I'm just going to share the screen with you. I'm going to teach you these in detail. I hope you would enjoy this video lecture a lot, as you have enjoyed the previous three subject video lectures as well. So just going to share the video screen and just enjoy this video lecture. So this is going to be regarding internal and external business environment. So in this video lecture, we shall be talking about what is the business environment about and what are the different factors affecting the business environment. And basically there are only two kinds of or the two classification of a business environment. Okay. So officially this is going to be the very first lecture for this specific topic, this specific subject, that is going to be business environment. We have already covered major subject, like we have covered business statistics, we have covered, okay, then organization behavior and HRM, human resources management, and then recently we have covered business economics as well. So this is going to be the most important one, because in this along with business environment, we shall be studying international business as well. So all these things we are going to cover, and in this lecture, as I have already given you the description, whatever we shall do, first of all we shall talk about the meaning of business environment, what's that, and after that I shall tell you how it can be classified. So basically, taking about business environment, just take your own example. You are running a specific business. You are running a business, okay? So just think about all the persons who are directly or indirectly in relation with your business. So all these persons gradually makes the business environment. First of all, what you have to do, you have to purchase the raw materials. That means you have to have the link with the suppliers. After that, you have to process that. That means you must hire the employees as well. After that, you have to sell this. You must need some kind of marketing or selling activities. Again, you need some kind of personals. And after that, you have to sell it to the specific category of person, and these are known as your customers. After that, you are running your business in the society. So society is also the part which is affected by your business. After that, whatever you earn, you have to pay the taxes. So that taxes goes to the government. So government is also affected by your business, or that also makes effect in your business. So there is the two-way effects of a business running in the specific environment. Okay, so business affects all these institutions. Okay, and these institutions also affect the business simultaneously. So all the things which are directly or indirectly affecting your business, they gradually creates the business environment. So I hope you would have got the idea. So business environment is basically the environment which is composed of all these kind of elements which directly or indirectly affects to your business. So this is all about that. So we can easily define that the forces, the factors, the institutions with which the businessman has to deal with to achieve its objective. So it is simply said that the business environment are the forces, these are the forces, these are the uh, factors, or these are the institutions with which the businessman has to deal in order to achieve its objectives of business. So all these are composed of business environment. So hope you would have got the idea. Business environment is a very broad subject because it covers each and every factor, forces, and each and every element which can affect your business directly or indirectly. So I hope you would have got idea. Now I'm just moving further. Now I'm going to tell you how the business environment can be classified. And I must tell you, business environment can be classified into two categories. Okay. So the first category is known as internal environment and the second category is known as external environment. You can tell, you can just talk these as the kinds of business environment, or you can just say how you can classify the business environment. This can be classified into two categories basically. The first category is internal environment and the second category is external environment. So what are internal environment? So those elements which are composed of, which are basically composed of the elements which are internal to the organization, these are known as internal environment. Okay, so what I have said, so this is the business, this is the business, this is the outside world. So all the elements which are just inside the business and which are affecting the business, so these are known as internal environment, and the factors which are outside the business which are affecting the business and they are outside as well, and these are known as external environment. So business environment can be classified into two categories. Okay, so now we have to learn what comes under internal environment. So here I am just going to give you a brief description. After that I shall explain you these in detail. So what are these? These are, in the internal environment, following things are covered, like plans and policies, these are internal to the business. Then human resources management, this is also internal. Then their financial resources, the plans regarding funds, these are also internal to the business. After that, corporate image, this is also internal. Plant and machinery, labor management relationship, so all these things are just internal to the organization. They are directly affecting to the business organization. Okay, and internal environment factors are those factors which can be somewhat controllable. They can be controlled by the organization because they are just inside the business house. And what are the external environment? External environment can further be categorized into two parts. The first is known as micro environment and the second one is known as macro environment. So what are micro environment? Micro environment are those which are outside, but they can have immediate effect. Okay, which they can have immediate effect and they are to some extent only controllable. What are these? These are your customers, your competitors, your suppliers, the society which is associated with your company directly. So these are the micro environment factors which comes under external environment, which is the part of business environment broadly. So the second one are macro environment, to which the organization or the business cannot have any kind of control. These cannot be controlled by the organization in any way. So what are these? These are the demographic of your country. So demography can be different. You do not have any kind of forces to change the demographic situation. Then the economic condition of the country. This covers like a capitalist economy, socialist economy, mixed economy, and these kind of things. We shall study these in detail, okay, in coming lectures. So because each and every kind of environment which is there under the macro environment, that shall ultimately becomes a separate chapter to be studied under business environment. After demographic economic, there is technological environment. This is also not controllable because nowadays there is the rapid change in the technology around the world. When the business feel that they are adapted to the new technology, suddenly new technology comes and the previous one fails. So technological environment also covers under macro environment. Then there is political environment. This is a complete political instability. Okay, after 5 years the government can change and the new government can make new plans, new policies, new taxation system. Everything is changed. The business has no control over political environment as well. Then the cultural system, you cannot change the culture. So culture is also the part which can directly affect to the business environment. So culture, there are different kinds of cultural cultures prevailing in India. So you have to talk about these, you have to understand about these, so they are directly affecting to your company. So I hope you would have got the broad idea of what are the different kinds of business environment. If we are talking about these individually, these are known as internal environment. I have already explained you. So these are just internal to the business. So whatever the elements which are directly to the organization or the business, if they are internal in they are laying internally to the business organization, then these are known as internal environment. What does they contain of? Like internal environment of a business includes your physical assets, your current technological capability, your human resources like employees, your financial and marketing resources, then your management structure, then the relationship between different constituents like the superior, subordinates, lower level managers, all these relationships, then your goods, then your objectives, then your value system, whatever is prevailing in the organization. You can see that all these things lies internally in the organization. So these makes up totally the internal environment of the business organization. So one by one, if we are talking about these, okay, so I think you have got the idea of all these things. I have already explained you previously, okay. In this picture you can see that completely. I've told that plans and policies, then human resources, financial resources, corporate image, plant and machinery, labor management relationship, all these things are just internal to the business and they are affecting the organization. So what you have to remember, that anything affecting the business, can be divided into two parts. The first part, if they are prevailing within the company, and if they are prevailing outside the company. If they are prevailing within the company, these are known as internal to the company or internal environment. If these are outside the business, then these are external environment factors. So internals we have already studied, okay, so none kind of detail should be gone through. The second one is external environment. I have already told you which are the institutions which are just outside your business, okay. Some you can control and some you cannot control. So external environment of a business is composed of various organizations, institutions and forces operating outside the company, which exert influence individually or collectively as well as on this environment. So the external environment are just organization, institution and forces which are operating outside the company, but they are affecting directly or indirectly to the organization. And these can be categorized into two parts. The first is a micro environment and the second one is a macro environment. Talking about the micro environment, these are the factors which are company's immediate environment, which consist of immediate environment. Immediate means which can directly affect the company, and company have to very few extent control over these parties. Okay, because bargaining can be there. So what are the different factors which composes the micro environment? The first are customers. How they are affected? Because the customers are those to whom the products are to be sold. Products are to be sold. So they are the first immediate environment part. First immediate part of the business environment of micro environment. The second are suppliers from whom you have to purchase raw material. So you have to purchase that one. So in this way, we can say that the suppliers are also the part of immediate environment of the company, which can directly affect the business decisions. Then your competitors with whom you have to compete. With whom you have to compete. So in the business organization, it's not that you have to just rule the market alone. Okay, there can be number of competitors of yours as well. It can be the possibility that the product which you are selling, some other people would also be selling the same product. So in that case, you have to compete with your competitors. So competitors can also directly affect you. Then there is public, the public who is directly associated with your company. Like these are masses of people who listens to you, who see your product, whether these are your customers or not. So all the masses which are associated with any kind of sources to your company, then these are known as public. Okay, so all these factors consist of immediate environment of the company. So that's why they are included in the micro environment category. And the second one are macro environment category. These are those which are not directly associated, but still they have the larger impact on the business organization. And I must tell you, each and every macro environment we have to study in detail in upcoming video lectures. Okay, so we can say that another constituent of business environment in the macro environment, in the macro environment, which includes all those economic and non-economic factors, which provides or exerts its influence on business activity in general. So these are those elements which affect the business activity in general. So what are these? We can easily classify these like, these can be first of all, these can be demographic environment, like the general population. You cannot change the population, obviously. Okay, a population contain of so many categories, like age. On the basis of age, we can differentiate between people. On the basis of income, we can differentiate between people. On the basis of race, on the basis of religion, on the basis of caste, we can differentiate so many people. This completely makes up your demographic environment. So what you have to study? So demographic environment is also the environment which affects the business or the organization directly or indirectly. And these factors are not controllable by any measure. Then there is economic environment. Economic environment simply makes up the economic system of the country. These can be anything, like there can be capitalistic society, or there can be socialistic society, or there can be the mixed economic system. So all the economic system affects the company directly or indirectly. Then there is technological environment. You can see that there are new technologies coming on daily basis. So whatever the new adaptations are made by the company, these should be as per the current and contemporary norms of the technology. If the company is running their technology at par with the current technology in the market, only then they can expect to grow further. The third one is the next one is political legal environment that makes up with political and legal environment. It just points to the political structure in the country. Okay, so there are sometimes there is a presidential system only, sometimes there is a federal system. Okay, so in that kind of situation the powers are distributed between state and center. And if we are talking about legal environment, there are number of laws, rules and regulations the business organizations has to follow. The two most important which have been given in our syllabus as well, these are Consumer Protection Act and Environment Protection Act as well. Okay, so you can just believe that there are so many laws which the business has to follow if they wishes to grow in the market. Then socio-cultural environment, there are number of cultures prevailing in India. So being the part of the Indian society, what company has to do, they have to follow the cultural or the socio-cultural norms of the society. Only then they can grow in the market. Because if their norms, companies policies or norms are against in any way with the cultures prevailing in the society, they cannot expect to grow further. So in this way, it was the detail regarding the business environment and the different kinds of internal and external business environment. I have taught you these because this was the very basic lecture in which I just wish to taught what you have to study further. It was just a detail of that. I have already told you. We categorized the business environment into two parts. The first was internal and second in external. Internal we have studied. Okay, so you don't need to go extremely further with that. Micro environment you all know very well, but the only thing that we have to study further, these are the parts of macro environment. So the upcoming lecture shall be in economic environment, economic policies in India which are affecting the business and business enterprises. So that was all in this video lecture. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Gurpal Singh from Gurpal Education.